Okay, so I'm Ben Papali. I'm here with Michelle Bobart. We're both out of Chicago, so there will be one Chicago-specific program we talk about, but there's also a program that's going to be applicable no matter where you are in the 50 states. So that's what we're going to spend the bulk of our time talking about today. Okay, so do you want to buy a home, but you don't have enough money for a hefty down payment? That's something I hear a lot. Or do you want to leave more of your money in the bank and let the city, or in this case also guaranteed rate, help cover your purchase? In this presentation, we're going to show you how you can take advantage of two new programs. And the presentation is ideal if you're a first-time home buyer or if you're a current owner looking to size up or size down. For the second program we talk about, there are going to be some credit requirements. So I just want to let you know up front that there will be those. And at the end of the program, Michelle is going to briefly go over her credit. I hesitate to call it credit repair. I don't know exactly what you call it, Michelle, but she's worked with a lot of clients to help raise their credit score to where it needs to be to get a loan. So we'll touch on that briefly at the end of this as well. So here's a question. How would it affect you and your family if someone gave you, say, $19,000? Would that make a difference in your life? What would you do with that? Would you go on a vacation? Would you, buy a new car? Would that go towards a college fund? What could you do with that kind of money? And that's really what we're talking about here, is a way for you to have someone else give you money towards purchasing your home. Also, as a gift, if you'll stay with us through the end of the program, at the end we'll tell you how you can get $250 credited towards your closing costs. This is a survey done by Zillow in 2015. They asked renters who plan to continue to stay renters why they were continuing to rent. And 11% said it's because they had government subsidized rent, so that could be Section 8 or some other form there. 30% said they don't qualify for a home loan. 34% said they couldn't afford associated costs. That'd be taxes, upkeep, utilities, homeowner association fees if you're in a condo. But 25% said that they don't have the money for a down payment, and that's really what we're focusing on here. And just a little bit about myself real fast. My focus is serve, so this October will be 15 years I've served between the Marine Corps and the National Guard. I do some volunteering work as well, and that's just really been my focus going into real estate, was how I could help others. Real quickly about me, I am my team's one of the top 10% of Chicago realtors. We've closed more than 1,000 residential commercial real estate transactions since 2009. We were listed in Who's Who in Chicago Real Estate Magazine in 2016, and we put together a robust team of agents, staff, attorneys, lenders, home professionals, et cetera, to help ensure that your experience is smooth as possible from the beginning, before, during, and after closing. And as part of the Sotheby's network, I understand a lot of you aren't in Chicago. I have a huge team of really outstanding agents, actually all across the world, but more specifically to you, across the U.S. So if you'd like me to contact you, or you'd like to contact me at the end of this, I can certainly put you in touch with an outstanding agent, no matter where you're located. Quick about Michelle. In 2015, she funded over $86 million in loans. She's one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the U.S. She is one of the top 200 mortgage originators in the United States. She's a Chicago agent's Who's Who in real estate for 7 consecutive years, over 2,500 closed transactions, almost 20 years of mortgage banking experience. She also has a large team right now, actually 7 or maybe 8 staff members now, they really do an outstanding job at every step along the way. So from first pre-qualifying you to working with you for strategy to closing and beyond. So I'll let her talk about that a little bit more if she'd like to. But she is also licensed in all 50 states, right?
Guaranteed rate is.
Yeah, guaranteed rate in all 50 states. So again, regardless of whether or not you're in Chicago, we certainly can help you out wherever you're located throughout the U.S. For the agenda, we're going to talk briefly about guaranteed rate, then we'll go through the financing process, then we'll go into how guaranteed rate can help you, then how your local realtor can help you, We'll tell you how to get the $250 of closing costs credited, and then we'll go through a Q&A, and we'll try to have you out of here by 12:30, 12:35, 12:40 at the absolute latest. So let's get started. Michelle, I'll give this to you.
Well, thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me today. So really excited to share with you today just two great programs that have recently been rolled out. And just a quick highlight before we get started. For most folks locally in Chicago have heard of Guaranteed Rate. We're really the one of the largest mortgage bankers locally in Chicago, and really ranked top 8 in the nation for retail bankers. So what makes us different and sets us apart, we are a snapshot of 30 different investors. So we basically can capture and take in your goals, your profile, credit, income, asset, and really help align you with the best product and program to meet your short and long-term financial goals. And we do that by, again, not just representing one particular bank, but over 30 different investors. So we are a digital mortgage company. We leverage technology to the max. We've got a great online application, which takes about 15-20 minutes. And really important, we do everything in-house. So it just really allows for control, speed, and efficiency throughout the process. Other highlights, we are locally, the company is born and raised in Chicago, so we know condos. We are matched to be able to deliver the most options on any condo financing situation, whether it's a conventional one or an outside the box. And we also specialize in jumbo lending. We have a great renovation loan program as well. So specifically, what I want to start off with is the new City of Chicago Homebuyer Assistance Program. Guaranteed Rate is partnered with the City of Chicago and the Chicago Infrastructure Trust to offer a mortgage program to help Chicago residents become homeowners. This program will allow Chicagoans to qualify for a home by lowering their down payment obstacles. The program will offer up to 7% of the total of the final loan amount as a forgivable grant. The City of Chicago announced the program in January, and Guaranteed Rate is the first city-approved lender to start offering the grant to residents. So what are some of the details? So the features, essentially, we can, the three main venues that we can use for lending are FHA, VA, and Freddie Mac. So we would use those guidelines in conjunction with this grant for the specific program. And again, as I mentioned, anywhere from 3 to 7% for down payment assistance. And it actually can be used on purchases and no cash out refinance options. So some of the particulars, the property must be located in the City of Chicago. If you're a first-time home buyer, you do have some basic home buying education requirements, which you can do pretty easily online. And again, the key being that you need to contribute a minimum of $1,000 or 1% of the purchase price, whichever is greater. And for that $1,000, no gift funds are allowed. Income limits for this program. FHA allows for a maximum income limit of $87,400, and then conventional $133,000. Credit score requirements. So we always, in banking and lending, we're always running what's called a tri-merge credit report. It takes a snapshot. It's a picture of all 3 bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and the middle score is what we go off of. So FHA's requirement is 620. And for conventional Freddie Mac, it's 640. This program is available in single-family homes and condos. So the key factor in this is, the city wants you to stick around. So they want you to live there for a minimum of 5 years for the down payment to be forgiven. And just a note on that before we finish up. So what if, for some reason, you don't live there for 5 years? Basically, what will happen is, let's say you live there for 3 years and just something, job change, you had to relocate, move out of state. You essentially, if you've been there 3 years, 36 months of the 60 months would be forgiven, and then you would just be required to pay back the delta, the remaining, when you sold the home. So, again, strong encouragement is to stay, but obviously life circumstances happen, and that you would just pay back the amount that, less than 5 years that you've lived there.
All right, so real quick, everyone, so that was Chicago specific again. I know a lot of you are in Chicago. So this is good. This program we're about to talk is good throughout the U.S. Plus, there are a lot of pros of this program over the one we just talked about, even if you're in Chicago. So, Michelle, I'll let you go and talk about this now.
Excellent. Yeah. So yeah, super excited about this program. This is a brand new product that my company launched. Really just, and it's going to just, I think, really enhance and enable a lot of folks to buy when they previously could not. Really key being, most folks, you know, what I hear, they have the income, their credit meets the requirements, but just coming up that full down payment is many times the obstacle. So here's our solution. With this new program, 1% of the purchase price is your responsibility. You kick in the 1%, and then we kick in the other 2%. So and the fantastic thing about this is not a grant. So what I just talked about with the City of Chicago, they literally will have basically it's a silent second lien, a second mortgage on your title of your home. There is no second mortgage or second lien, silent second lien in this program. So it's just one mortgage, you kick in 1%, we kick in the other 2%. So this is restricted to purchase only. And again, any one unit property is eligible, so condo, single family, townhome, etc. And with this product, it does follow Freddie Mac's guidelines, so the maximum loan amount is $417. And there are income restrictions on this, so following this, I can send you a link to determine the areas that you're interested in across the country and what the income limits are accordingly. In certain areas of the country, if they're deemed low to moderate census tracts, there is actually an unlimited income. So that's pretty exciting. I know locally we have some great pockets and neighborhoods that are really hot and up and coming, but yet still qualify, so there's no limit to this income in those areas.
So even if you don't have a lot of cash to work with, if you feel like the process is daunting, if you don't know where or how to begin, that's really where we come in. So again, you only need 1% cash to get into this. Now there are some, you'll want to talk to your lender or to your realtor. There are, you know, some people see this 1% down, that's just a down payment. There are some other closing costs sometimes that you'll have to kick in, possibly attorney fees depending on what state you're in. So that's something you want to talk to. But essentially, the you know, that traditional 10%, 20% down payment is not required with these programs. So you can get into a home for very little money down. And then this is going to go over kind of real quick, Michelle, if you can talk about your process.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So yeah, so first step, just you know, you want to call my office. We'll schedule a time to connect. I don't work traditional banking hours, so I can do early morning or later in the evening or even on the weekends if needed. And really just, you know, the goal of the initial conversation is to understand your goals. And really just then I can take in that information and really just think through a thoughtful plan that's going to help you meet those goals. One of the pieces that we will be doing is a credit analysis. So I'll be able to run a credit report for you, and really, if any tweaks are needed, I can actually coach you on some things that can, again, elevate your credit scores so we can get optimal financing terms. So there's many ways that we can do that, and that's part of that initial strategy session, which is complimentary. And then the second portion would be to formally do an application. That's where I, again, would take in all of the full details of your income and assets, and really just determine then what's going to be a good, you know, shopping price range for you. The biggest thing is that you don't want to feel house poor. You want to be able to still enjoy life and feel like your mortgage payment's not going to just absorb the majority of your paycheck. So that's a big piece of it, is just really getting clear on price points you want to be shopping in, so you can really just go out and have fun with your realtor and just shop with confidence. And then third is, you know, a final thing once we take the loan application, again, is just to sit down and put together some different snapshots of various loan programs and a payment structure. So once again, you have a full understanding and you're just, you know, you have full confidence that are ready to go out there and start shopping.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. And then briefly to tell you what, I or any realtor, what the process would be when you're working with an agent. Typically, I like to first set up an in-person or virtual strategy meeting. So, just like we're doing a webinar here, I can meet with you online if that's easiest. I've worked with clients from all across the globe, buying in Chicago and in Illinois. So, either way, we want to have that strategy meeting though, so we get a good understanding of, I get a good understanding, especially of exactly what you're looking for, what your goals are, what your timeline is, what kind of home you're looking for. Is it investment? Is it a vacation home? Is it a, your first home? So I really understand what you're looking for. And then that helps me set up that second step, searching the market and pocket listing. So you'll hear the term pocket listing, which essentially means a home that's on the market, but it's not actually listed on the MLS. So it's just listed on some internal platform. And being a part of Sotheby's International Realty, which is a huge brokerage, I do have access to, and the other agents I work with around the U.S. have access to a lot of homes that you actually won't find on Zillow or on Trulia or on Homes.com. So we'll do a full comprehensive search for you, both of the homes that are listed on the MLS and homes that are not listed on the MLS but are available. And then we assist and advise you during showing, so help you pick out little things you may not have seen or noticed otherwise, help you kind of weigh the pros and cons of each home. Then once you pick out the home that you want, we'll help you negotiate the contract to get you the best terms and the best price possible. And I'm, of course, committed to you up to, through, and after the closing. So you don't just, or I don't just go away after you've closed. I'll continue to stay in touch with you. Make sure you have everything you need. Make sure everything's working out well for you. So just a brief overview on how we help. Now, for that $250 closing cost credit, when you talk to Michelle, if you'll just go ahead and mention that you were on this webinar, she'll be sure to get this closing cost credit to you. So again, just important, make sure that while you talk to her during your consultation, that you mention you were on this webinar so we can get you this credit. All right, so do I have any questions? If you have any questions, please just type them into the box there. Okay, we got one question here. Michelle, you mentioned gift funds. What are gift funds?
So gift funds, again, for the programs you're talking about, there is a minimum contribution of $1,000 from you. Above and beyond that, a family member can give you a gift. So, again, you could have recently got married or graduated college, etc., whatever that may be. Your family can earmark a certain amount of money. All I would need to do is show proof of gift funds via hitting your bank account, and then also I have your family member sign a gift letter. Okay, thanks, Michelle. And I have this question coming in. I've heard that a lot of closings are getting delayed. How long is it taking you to close a loan right now? So I am very fortunate. As I mentioned before, we do control everything from start to finish. Our company is committed to keeping and streamlining the process. I've heard a lot of my competition is the upwards of 60 to 90 days. We are still able to close loans in 30 days. So I feel very fortunate. This is a very unique market right now. I'm seeing a lot of multiple bids of clients coming in, really a stiff level of competition, and we are able to give our clients the upper advantage by committing and getting them to the closing table quickly so they can beat out the other competition and win the offer. And to go along with that, Michelle, as a listing agent, so when I'm representing a seller, if I have two contracts so multiple offer situation, two contracts come to me, all things being equal as far as their situation, the offer price, all other terms, everything else being equal, if I see one pre-approval letter from Chase and one pre-approval letter from Guaranteed Rate, I'm going to take the Guaranteed Rate over the Chase or over the Citi or over the Bank of America any day. And it's nothing against those banks, but they just home mortgages are not their forte. That's not their focus. So they tend to be a little bit cumbersome. They'll ship the paperwork off to Minnesota or off to Florida, New Jersey, what have you, depending on the bank. And your local agent, your local banker doesn't really have much control or
oversight over that process. Whereas with guaranteed rate, or if you use Chicago guaranteed rate or one of your local guaranteed rate offices, everything stays in-house. So their underwriters are in-house, the processors are in-house. So your loan originator can walk to the underwriter and say, hey, I have these updated documents, let's push this through quickly. So my experience has been that guaranteed rate is always good at closing quickly, which is why I like to work with them. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Michelle.
I thank you for that information.
So any other questions out there? I know we've got about 3 more minutes here, so I want to make sure I get all your questions. Anyone have anything else? Looks like that's it for right now. So wanted to thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm going to pop up my contact information real quick. So if you do have any questions or comments, you can visit my website, northsidehomesales.com, or email me. You'll also be receiving a follow-up email from me. Also, feel free to call or text. And again, that's not just for Chicago, but that's if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in the U.S., I am able to help you out with my network. And then Michelle's information, really easy to find. You can actually just go to michellebobart.com. But here's her phone contact information as well as her email address. And then she'll be reaching out to you all within the next couple of days as well. So again, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the opportunity. It's funny because a lot of comments I got on Facebook were along the lines, is this a scam? And no, it's really not. There are opportunities to buy a home with just 1% down. So we're excited about it. And hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of them sometime soon. Again, thanks for joining us, and I hope to talk to you soon.